Good morning, everybody. Chris here with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal.
Tanya.
And we are at a job that may be a long ongoing process, or we're gonna send over a estimate to see if the client wants to save a lot of time. So we were here the other day. He saw our truck at Tanya's mom's house. He lives nearby. So it was more of a truck branding kind of situation. So today we did come here last week and we did a walkthrough and stuff. And today we will be doing just the front porch. So everything here, everything over here. We estimated it to be 1 truckload. Our game plan is to pretty much grab all the metal and put it in a bunch of trash cans, and then we're gonna give it to our scrapper. Everything else in here pretty much is trash. This has been unoccupied for months. Obviously you can see it's not very well insulated, which means there's probably things crawling around that donation centers aren't going to want. Therefore, we're not really gonna even try to keep anything except for maybe some power tools. Like there's a weed whacker and a blower right here and a edger and a shop vac. Those all may work and we could probably get those taken care of, but everything else pretty much gonna be trash. So I'm gonna do a quick walkthrough of the outside property. We don't have access to the inside, but we'll just talk a little bit about what's going on out here, because out here alone, it's not a ton, but it would be a lengthy process. So the garage is full. You have these tanks here, which we don't typically take. A couple of things here, small little knickknacks. You have this big old carport here, a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. Got a little camper back here, which is actually kind of cool. If we got the outside job, we would be sending this to somebody we know to see if they want to come by and pick it up. They fix these things up and reuse them, resell them. So just a bunch of wire, miscellaneous, wood, debris, just all mixed in, whatever the heck this thing is that's keeping me from probably falling down a few feet. A ton of plywood, but I don't know if that would be staying because it looks like hurricane shutters for the windows, considering it has labels on it. So everything in here would technically be going at some point. All this stuff, all the cinder blocks, the concrete blocks, all this stuff we would pull up. And then you have this makeshift shed. So we would have to clean out what we can basically reach on the bottom, minus the fluorescent light bulbs, and then everything inside, which is pretty much just a big cabinet, a bunch of old paint buckets, a little bit of debris. I haven't been inside, so I don't know what's hiding back there, but for the most part, it looks like just paint buckets and trash. Then you got this pile of wood here. Wood, paint buckets, bunch of cinder blocks. Again, a couple of things back here, some those water containers, doors. I think there's like a ladder back there. There's not a ton in the backyard, surprisingly. But basically, when we give an estimate, I already have it ready enough for the whole job. We would be getting all this miscellaneous stuff that's kind of scattered throughout the yard. The bricks would be dependent if they're gonna keep them with the house or not. It's a lot of bricks. It's probably a couple thousand pounds of bricks right there. You got a little garden cart, some paint buckets kind of mixed in. Just a lot of random stuff. Here you can see we got a trailer. Not a trailer that's gonna move though. We would probably have to cut this thing up into pieces to get it taken out of here. Cut down all the wood and scrap the frame and the axle. Get rid of the tires. A couple of trash cans. The green one would stay with the property, that's for the city. Everything else would be trash. As you can see, we have a boat and 2 boat trailers. Both of them have damaged wheels, so we'd have to have somebody come out and either replace them or swap them out. The boat would either have somebody come by and pick up who knows how to take boats off of trailers, I don't know, or we'd have to get it cut up somehow. So that's a whole different project on its own. Some of this wood would probably have to end up going. It's barrel, this concrete bench we would keep here. We don't take concrete, so I could take the top portion if it's not connected, but I'm not gonna dig up this whole platform here. So there is some stuff behind the shed, as you can see. There's a couple of things on the side you already can't see unless I walk over there. The bird bath, the things, the pot, if they choose to have that go. In here you have a tabletop, pretty good size. Probably weighs 100, 150 pounds. More benches, more miscellaneous. So that's pretty much the outside. There is some stuff in the shed. They didn't tell us how much. We have not seen inside of it. It has a lock on it. They don't have the key anymore. So when that time comes, we'd have to break it open. But that's pretty much the gist of everything.
You show them our bug spray?
Yes, we have bug spray on because this place is swarming with mosquitoes. All right, final video before we start. We have all of our trash cans ready out here. Again, these are all for the metal, and then we'll use the ones on wheels for anything liquid related, so it doesn't leak out everywhere. Basically, just gonna chuck all the metal in the bins and just try not to take too long on here. We do have other errands we want to run today. We got our anti-cut gloves. Got these on Amazon. Tanya's got her gloves, and we're gonna just start with what's right in front of the door and work our way to each side. There are a couple of large glass tops in here, which I did factor in. And then the other furniture, besides a couple of patio chairs, is the patio table, card table. There's a makeup mirror thing over there, small end table. Everything else is miscellaneous. The wood will probably end up cutting in half with the Sawzall because it's gonna be very long in the trailer. And then I told him that we would rip down like the black tarp and the curtains that are just hanging on by a thread. So try to clean it up a little bit in here. minimum pickup. Usually not a minimum pickup, but it is at the curb, and I did fish her out of Facebook. So we dumped everything in here is metal. We're gonna drop it off. We've already done all of our errands. Should be a very quick job, even with the truck running. All right, so the day is complete. We were gonna go by auction to drop off a couple of items, but I told the guy we're not gonna make it, so we'll go by another day. I just don't feel like going anywhere else. Like, I feel fine. We're gonna go to the gym later, but I just don't feel like driving anymore. Like, the amount of gas I've been putting into this truck the last couple of months is crazy. Like, we've been really busy, so I'm assuming it's because we're driving around so much with the trailer, but we've been putting in some pretty insane amounts of gas compared to what I'm used to. So, not thrilled about it, but that does typically mean that we're busier, because I burn through gas when we have the trailer with us, especially when it's full, because it's heavier. It pretty much drops the mileage down to like 8 miles a gallon is what I pretty much figure. So the fact that's happening means that we're busy. We're not just bullshit driving around, but again, it's a lot. So just trying to, I don't know, just making excuses, not doing anything else today. We waited at the dump, keeping all the metal, and I did keep the flooring just in case. Came out to $33.60. That was for 1,600 pounds. Luckily, the lady at the teller charged me as trash. I didn't even think about it, but they could have charged me for debris, just the way it all looked. It was a bunch of empty paint cans and just crap. So luckily, she just looked at it and said, trash? I said, yes it is. And to be fair, it actually was. There wasn't really any debris in there. Like, yeah, there's one piece of little plywood, like 3 feet by 3 feet. Otherwise, the only wood in there was these 1x2 sticks of wood that I broke in half, but they probably weigh collectively like 5 pounds. And then there's a flooring, but I kept it. So really, there's no debris. Like, all the paint buckets were pretty much empty, or they had like stuff in it, but it wasn't like paint or anything. And then we kept all the metal. So it, by definition, was actually trash, truthfully. I was just expecting them to charge debris, and I was gonna be upset about it. But it didn't, and that's good. So all good there. I sent him a quote for the whole property if he goes there and says, never mind, this sucks, let's let them do it. And it's in the low tens. Well, sorry. It's in the low double digits, a little over 10,000. And that's for everything in the house, everything outside, the boat, the 3 trailers, and the garage and stuff. So pretty much everything except the big concrete block that had the little bench on it. And there's a motorcycle in the garage he said he was gonna sell. So I quoted about 14 truckloads. That's including a couple of them being bed loaded, because there's a big pile of bricks and the cinder blocks and all that stuff. We would charge that as debris and bed load it all, so that wouldn't be a full load. I charge the boat as 1 load, and then I charge all 3 trailers as 1 load. So that alone is like 6 loads. So realistically, it's like 8 loads of trash. My game plan would be, we would try to spread it out over a span of like 2 weeks. Realistically, probably a little less, but give ourselves 2 weeks. Do a little bit each day. I would subcontract out the outside. I would go in that big garage shed looking thing, pull everything out, put it in the yard, separate the metal, hire somebody to come out with a dump trailer and basically get all that crap, get all the concrete, get all the bricks, all that heavy stuff. I'll pay them X amount for a load and then cover their disposal cost. And that would really eliminate like half the job for us. Like, everything inside, speed packs and trash cans, just speed load. The power is off for a couple of months. I mean, some of the furniture is okay, but it probably wouldn't be donatable, to be honest. I would have to see it better, like in more light. We just saw it kind of quick and half the lights were off. So can't say 100% for sure, but that's how I would tackle that job, is contract out the heavy crappy stuff that would suck with a non-dump trailer, and we take care of everything else. So that's pretty much it. March is going pretty well so far for where we're at. today's the 10th, and we're a little over halfway to our monthly goal for this year. February was pretty much 1.5 times our monthly goal, and January was a little over our goal. So doing pretty well this year, doubling and then some everything from the previous years. And we have a new high for our biggest job, and if we get this job, that'll be double that, so that'd be pretty cool. Honestly, I don't know what we've really been doing too much differently for marketing, or if it's just the economy. I'm not confident about what's to come in the next year or so with everything going on with the country, but whatever else is happening besides the markets kind of finally starting to plateau a little bit is doing well for us. So hopefully that keeps up. We will still be smart about our finances. We're putting away a nest egg and making sure debt's paid down, and we're not making any big expensive purchases just yet. We'll wait until the end of the year, see how taxes are. But for now, just things are going well. So knock on wood that nothing changes. We did just have something pop up that was a stupid situation, not our fault, and attorney said don't worry about it, so we're not going to worry about it. And yeah, so that's what's going on. And hope everybody else is staying busy. Comment down below how your year is going so far. I know some people in, I think, Matt and JoJo's live like last week were saying they were really slow. We've been killing it compared to what we usually do. So let me know what's how things are going with you guys. But that's gonna be it. And I'll let you know if we get that hoarder job. That'd be pretty cool. But that's it. Bye.